Hello everyone. So here we are with the analysis and question discussion of SNAP 2019 English section. We have created the solutions for all three sections, and this is the solution for the English section. So before we move ahead with the question discussion, let's look at the exam pattern, the questions that were asked in the examination. So out of the 34 questions, 8 questions were from reading comprehension. There were 2 passages consisting of 5 and 3 questions respectively. They were very lengthy in nature. So the first passage, which constituted of 5 questions, was on telecom business in China and Hong Kong. And the second passage was from Dalai Lama's book, The Art of Happiness. So these 2 passages had 5 and 3 questions respectively. Apart from reading comprehension, the remaining questions were from synonym antonym, 4 questions from that topic, 4 questions based on vocab, asked on spellings, odd one out, meaning, etc. Fill in the blanks, vocab based and grammar based. Then you had parajumble, identifying parts of speech, sentence correction, change of voice from active to passive, figures of speech, and some miscellaneous questions. So 34 questions in all, and all along the section was on the easier side. It was, apart from the reading comprehension, the remaining reading comprehension was also not very difficult. The questions were straightforward, fact based. There were no inference based questions, but it was just that the passage were lengthy and reading of them would have consumed your time. So let's start with the question discussion. So there was a question on conjunction, fill in the blanks based on conjunction. You must start at once dash you will be late. So this is a conditional, there is a conditional sentence. So in this case the conjunction should be something such as else or if not. So the correct answer to this question was otherwise. Otherwise means else or if not. So if you start at once and if you don't start, in that case you would be late. So otherwise is the right fit in this sentence. Then there was a question, vocab based question, closest is in meaning to the given word abnegation. Abnegation means renunciation or rejection. Okay. So rejection of something is abnegation, and among the options the answer was renunciation. Choose the word opposite in meaning to the given word abjure. Abjure again means to renounce or to reject something. So among the options the given word which had the opposite meaning was profess. So profess means to assert or affirm something. This means to reject, and profess means to affirm. So this was the answer to this question. There was a word lingua franca. Lingua means language. And this phrase lingua franca means a language which is common. So in case there are people from 2 nationalities, those who have different languages, they could communicate with each other only if they have some common language. So lingua franca means common language, and among the options there was an option called which said universal language. So universal language was the right answer to this question. Then again a vocab based question, petulant. Petulant means ill-tempered, one who gets irritated very soon. So that person is called petulant, and the answer to this was amiable. The opposite is amiable, which means a friendly person. Find the word odd one out. Now exacerbate means to make a condition worse, whereas the remaining three words are synonyms, which means to make to reduce negativity. So all these things, alleviate, mitigate and assuage, means that you're reducing the ill effects of something, whereas exacerbate means to worsen things. This is completely opposite. Rest three are synonyms, and this was the odd one out in this case. Now this was a question on changing the voice. I didn't realize that somebody was watching me. Now this is an active voice, so we had to convert it into a passive voice sentence. So the answer would be, I didn't realize that. Instead of somebody was watching me, it should be I was being watched. So this was the answer to this question. Now there was a fill in the blanks. If you behave well, your peers would respect you was the correct answer among the options given. So would is used for conditional statement. So it was a conditional statement that if you behaved well. So that's why the word would be used in this case. The stars were, now the answer to this question was, so stars, what do the stars do? They shine. Okay. So the answer to this question was scintillating, which means to shine. So the stars were scintillating in the sky. The defense lawyer dashed that there was insufficient evidence to convict his client. So as per the options, the answer was reiterated. Reiterated means to repeat. So the defense lawyer must have repeated several times that there was insufficient evidence to convict his client. So reiterated was the right answer as per the given options. There were four words starting with dis were given, and one had to choose which of the following did not have a prefix. Now let's look at the options. Disagree means the prefix dis means not, or it is a negative of something. So disagree means not agree. Dishonest means, similarly dishonest means someone who is not honest. Dislike means if you do not like someone, call it dislike. However, this word distemper, in this case dis is not a prefix. Distemper itself is a word which is a type of animal disease. So the answer to this question was distemper. Now one had to identify the figure of speech. In this case, I must have called out to you 1,000 times. So here you could see that this is a sort of exaggeration. It is not possible. We often say that like we do this or that 1,000 times, which we actually don't. It may be a few times, but in order to exaggerate, we call it 1,000 times. Similarly here in the sentence it says that I must have called out to you 1,000 times. It is not possible that someone calls someone 1,000 times. So it is a form of exaggeration, and for exaggeration we have a figure of speech called hyperbole. So hyperbole is a figure of speech which means exaggeration. So hyperbole was the right answer to this question. Now a question had the word servile, and one had to choose the antonym of the given word. So servile means someone who is willing to help others. So one who shows willingness. Now picking an antonym does not mean that the rest should be synonyms. For example, humorous has no relation with this. Humorous in someone who is funny, and it has nothing to do, no relation. This does not mean that it is a synonym of it. Helpful is a synonym. Conspirational is neither a synonym or an antonym. However, imperious means someone who is authoritative or bullish. Okay, so imperious was the antonym of this given word. Okay. Now there was a question on match the following. So there were four. The word down was used in four sentences, and one had to pick which function does it represent. So let's look at the first sentence. Some people can down a whole chicken in a meal. Here the word down means consume, and it is a verb. Hence, for two we have sentence A. Okay. Now the second sentence says there is a downtrend in the real estate market. So trend is a tendency. Okay, so there is a tendency, and the word down tendency, which is a noun. So the word down describes the noun here. Hence it would be an adjective. Okay, so this is a verb, this is an adjective. He was sent down to work in the branch office. So send is a verb here, and down here is describing the verb. So it is an adverb. So fourth goes with C. Now obviously adverb, now this would obviously be a noun. However, in southern England the downs are so pretty. Downs are little hills, okay, which are found in European countries like England. So here downs means little hills. So it is a noun. So the correct matching was 1:3, 2A, 3B and 4C. So this was the answer to this question. Again, an easy question. Even if you did not know the meaning of downs, you could have figured out using the other options and eliminated the options accordingly. So the question was again a vocab based question asking diaphanous. So diaphanous is something, it's especially related to fabrics, the fabrics which are very fine, or you could say translucent, so diaphanous means very fine or translucent. So the closest in meaning, the word closest in meaning to diaphanous was transparent. There's a question on fill in the blanks. Okay, so the answer to this would be would you mind if I borrowed your car? So that was the correct answer to this question. Again, a question on change of speech. So this was in passive voice. One had to convert it to active. Window panes are washed by cleaners. So you would convert it as cleaners wash window panes. So this was the right form of converting it to active voice. Again, a question on figure of speech. Neeta needed new notebooks. So let's see that all words start with N. So in cases where the initial letter of the words in a sentence have the same initial letter, that figure of speech is known as alliteration. So alliteration was the answer to this question. Here all words start with N. Even if if multiple words in a sentence start with the same letter, it is called alliteration. This wood will make a good hiding place. So it was asked that what part of speech does hiding mean here. Now you see that the word hiding is associated with the word place. So place is a noun, okay, and the word hiding is used to describe it. Okay, so obviously it would be an adjective. So adjective was the right answer to this question. Now an incorrect sentence was given and one had to correct it. No matter what that I do, I can't make her happy. So in this case, that is redundant. Okay, and no matter what itself, like if we remove that also, we have to remove that and the sentence would be sufficient. No matter what I do, I can't make her happy. So this was the right answer to this question. Suppose your car broke down in the middle of nowhere. What dash? So would be the right answer to this question. What would you do? I dash anything from her in a long time. So the right answer to this question was I haven't heard. Now there was a question with a blank, a sentence with 3 blanks, and homonyms of a word were given and one had to fit those words in the 3 blanks. Okay, so the words were sight, sight and sight. Okay, so let's read the sentence construction. When the engineers visited the dash. So the words should be a synonym of some words such as location. The chaos of the cement, steel and sand was a horrible. Now something which is seen here, some horrible, you should say a glimpse, a horrible glimpse of something. So he had no option but to dash that in his report. So the engineer visited the place and he found that the place was horrible. So he had to prepare a report on it. So he would mention that thing in his report. Okay. So if you look at the words given, site means location. Okay. Sight means when you see something, or a glimpse of something, and cite means to quote an example. So to quote or mention some example. So you see that in the first blank the correct word should be SITE, site. The second blank should have the word SIGST, site, and the third blank should have the word CITE, site. So you could have fetched 4.5 marks just by answering this question, and it was a very easy question. It did not involve very complex vocabulary. I hope most of you must be knowing these three words, and this was one of the sitters in the section, which itself was very easy. The section was very easy, and this was one of the sitters. You could just easily have gained 4.5 marks by just answering this question. So this session, in this session we discussed the answers to the questions that we were able to collect, we were able to recall from the paper. We have already discussed the solutions of other two sections as well. Please do subscribe to our channel to get updates on all MBA examinations, the information related to them, the exam analysis, the results, and question discussion, etc. Okay, I hope you got your answers. We were able to explain you all the questions that appeared in the examinations and give you the correct solutions for the same. So that's it. Have a great day.